workshop. We're going to get started today going over the next project. We have it's a four-door Jeep, and it is the extra speed four-door Jeep with the full interior, opening front and rear doors. It's actually a very nice setup for the money you get. It's similar to the old New Bright Jeeps, but I think kind of stepped the game up with the opening doors and a little bit better interior. Very common to see the two doors. I think the four door is a little less common. But as you've seen in the introduction, it won't stay exactly like this. This is going to be modified into a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Chief Concept. So what they did in 2016 is they took the four-door Wrangler and modified it in a way to make it very reminiscent of the older Cherokee Chief Jeeps. The most prominent feature is the grille and the hood, but when you look at the video from the designer at Jeep, he was saying the only piece that wasn't modified was this cowl, and that will be pretty much the same for me. This is the only piece that will stay the same. So it'll get a new hood, it'll get a new grille, the top will be chopped, which will also make the door to be chopped. This door will be cut clean off, and some kind of an interior and a clean edge across the top. That line will continue back and then be molded into the body here, which will essentially raise up this panel where normally this is the top that comes off. That'll continue around to the back. The tailgate will have where this is a swing out door. This will be more of a tailgate style. The square taillights go away, and some taillights very similar to a Toyota. I think it would be nice to be able to use those in the design. Will go into effect, and then it'll have a kind of a raised point toward the almost a little bit lower than the middle, and from this window back, it'll be completely open with no window and no means for putting it in there. The back will be completely open, and the top will be modified, whereas most of the modern Jeeps, the ribbing or this little raised portion runs from front to back, and in the Cherokee they ran across. So this will be getting a new top that will have the ribbing running across ways. So I'm going to do my best to get it as close to the picture you saw. Probably some changes here and there, but that's the general idea. I mean, one of the things right off the bat that's going to be different is these fenders are cut back from stock, from extra speed, and which gives it a nice look. They're not cut way too back; it's just enough. Kind of trims off the bottom edge. Gives you good clearance for a nice big, decent sized tire. But that's one of the differences you'll see. The interior, you couldn't see that, but the interior will actually have wooden slats on the floor, wooden slats going up the tailgate, and wooden slats on the top. The concept was made to be a beach type surfing concept, so that's what I'm going to try to stick with. And so that's the body. And to go on, the next item is an old Castle Mamba Max Pro. It's they have a lot of newer speed controllers out on the market now, and the Mamba X and a lot of different variations of that. This is still a very good solid speed controller, and I had it. The transmission will be the SCX10, the old style SCX10. Got a nice beefy plate, and we're going to run a Tekin brushless motor. Very good combination. I've ran this on a lot of trucks, and it does very well. What I don't have yet is an RC four-wheel drive transfer case, and that transfer case will sit right in the middle and will be powered by one side of this transmission, which then will allow you to have a forward mounted motor that'll fit roughly under the hood in this general vicinity right here. Castle BEC, a waterproof one, which is a nice feature to have. and a brand new high-tech 7955 TG. Not massive amounts of torque, but it is plenty for a scaler, and it's very reasonable, very good, solid servo that seems to last. Getting onto the wheels I'm running are the it's a KYM is the company. I'm not going to try to pronounce the actual names, so just go KYM. It is a very inexpensive set of wheels, but they are nice. They're aluminum 3-piece wheel, and I can take one out real quick, give you a better look. So, I mean, the front is nice, has some scale hardware. It's a pretty nice machining. There's no burrs on that, so that part is very, very nice. And then the back is just black painted, or some type of a coating they have on there. But it is a nice part. They have a removable wheel hex. So, like I said, it's kind of a cheap wheel, but the main reason I went with this is that it's very close to the stock wheel that Jeep used back in 2016. It's not exactly the same, but for the money, this is the bet for me. So going on those tires will be the Proline Class 1 Hyrex. I've used the larger tire, and they do work really well. For now, I'm going to stick with the stock foam, but eventually I will be changing those out to a different foam. But with having the beadlock wheels, it'd be nice and easy to change that out someday in the future. Extra Speed has a pretty decent amount of aluminum parts, and what I like about what Extra Speed does is that they look very similar to stock, except they're in aluminum. So where you need a little extra strength, you can get a nice looking replacement that's not all gaudy and like some of the ones out there, and they're fairly reasonable. So this is an area that I think is a good candidate for upgrading the front shock hoops, not necessarily for the shock hoops, but for the panhard mount. So that's going to get upgraded. I don't have it in yet, but I will have an Extra Speed servo mount in aluminum, and that'll be a nice upgrade. A set of brand new SCX-102 AR44 axles, front and rear. It's got the Vanquish Incision CVDs in the front, but other than that, they're pretty well just stock. Not sure if I will be using any of these, but I got a big giant set of different G-made shocks. These are actually really nice for the scale. The top isn't that great, but I still think the sacrifice you get by not having a good mount in the top is you get with having a truly functional diaphragm shock with a big bore. They are a little bit large, but it works really well when you're going on the trail. You have several different sizes. Don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but I may end up just buying all 4 new ones and not using those at all, but we will see. Moving forward, we have just your standard XCX10 rails. Like I said, the front shock mounts and servo mounts will be replaced. I'll be doing a custom mod to this skid plate to be able to mount the RC four-wheel drive transmission on there, and right in this general vicinity we'll have the motor going forward. Now the problem is this is the wrong configuration, so I have to pull this all apart and change it around. But the motor will be forward, transmission will be mounted on this side to a plate, very similar to how GCM does that, but just a different mount. It uses steel mount. I've done a couple of those so far, and they seem to work out okay. The last thing I have, so these are some aftermarket links, but they seem to be in pretty good shape. Just put stock ends on them, so that should be okay. I have one MIP drive shaft, and I'll have to get at least, obviously, another one. The last item is these 12-volt Automotive Spotlights, and I won't shine around the camera, but super bright. You can run them directly off of a 3-cell battery. They are identical in size to the opening right here, and they have a little ridge in there and actually fit in perfectly. You get these probably in most automotive stores, and so I'll be running these as headlights and coming up with some kind of custom LED for the tail lights there. So anyway, this is just to get started with this build. We'll probably look at getting out a video each week if possible. If it goes well, maybe 2 per week, but I'm just going to shoot for 1 for now. We're changing out the format a little bit. Instead of having a documentary like the last video with the Scout, this is going to be more detailed, talking through some commentary and showing some more of the detail instead of just letting the camera roll. And that's why I'll have less videos out, because I'll actually have to spend quite a bit of time editing, whereas the last, it was just, I got rid of the really bad stuff and let everything stay. So with that, thanks very much, and look forward to getting into this. And, see you on the rocks.